Welcome to Health Senior, your trusted companion for healthy aging. What if I told you that the secret to reigniting your intimacy, boosting your energy, and restoring your confidence doesn't come from a little blue pill, but from a glass of juice sitting quietly in your kitchen? Just one dose every morning, 1 cup, that's all it takes. For some men, it's turned frustration and fatigue into connection and vitality. And for some, it even rescued their marriage. I'm Dr. Jasson, a men's health specialist with over 40 years of experience assisting older men to reclaim the part of themselves that they thought was lost forever. I've spent my career with retired engineers, former athletes, grandfathers, men who once quietly endured their decline. But I've witnessed firsthand the way that natural science-supported remedies can restore what time took away. Here's the thing that nobody will tell you. Erectile dysfunction isn't about age. It's about blood flow, and blood flow that can be enhanced naturally. But most men over the age of 60 have never been informed of the potential of common everyday beverages that increase nitric oxide levels, reduce blood pressure, and enhance circulation. But people all over the world have known these secrets for centuries. One of them works so effectively, it's been called nature's Viagra, and there's no prescription needed and no side effects. Over the next several minutes, I'll take you through 10 potent beverages, each of which has scientific backing, each of which has the ability to change your health, your energy, and yes, your intimacy. These aren't trends, they're tried and true body-healing instruments that every guy should familiarize himself with. And be sure you stick with me to the end, because the last beverage on this list may be the easiest, most effective natural cure you'll ever learn about. So, let's get started. Before we start, if you're new here, I'd like to invite you to subscribe and enable the notification bell. That way, you'll never miss another tip tailored specifically to assist men like you in living stronger, healthier lives. And if you see that this video has been helpful, simply type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0. I read every comment, and your feedback assists me in producing better content for you. Now that you've seen the potential with just one simple daily routine, let's discuss the first natural beverage making a significant difference for men aged 60 and above. It's not foreign, it's not costly, but it's very potent. In fact, it's sometimes referred to as nature's secret weapon for circulation. Let's discuss celery juice and why it should be on your morning list. Number 1. Celery juice, the #1 natural alternative to Viagra. I'll never forget a patient of mine, Mark, a 67-year-old ex-firefighter. Strong hands, bright mind, but recently he'd been telling me he'd been feeling like a dimmed bulb. "Doc," he said to me, "it's not only the bedroom. I just don't feel like a man anymore." We took some tests. Heart was okay, hormones were good, but his circulation was poor. That's when I introduced him to something most people ignore: celery juice. It's too easy to work, but occasionally nature's best answer lies in the most mundane of places. Celery juice has molecules named thiazides, which relax muscle in the walls of your arteries. This isn't great only for your heart. It's a blood flow game changer throughout, particularly below. The more easily blood vessels are able to relax, the more blood gets to where it's needed most. For guys with erectile dysfunction, this shift is night and day, and it's not anecdotal. Research indicates that celery juice can lower blood pressure and optimize vascular health, two of the largest obstacles to performance for aging men. But that's only half the story. Celery also does something unexpected to your stress hormones. High levels of cortisol, the hormone your body pumps out under stress, can absolutely sabotage your sex drive and your ability to maintain an erection. Celery helps bring those levels down, promoting a calmer, more balanced internal state. For a man like Mark, who carried decades of pressure and pride on his shoulders, this was a shift he could feel. Within just a few weeks of consuming 1 glass of celery juice each morning, Mark returned to my office beaming. "I feel alert again," he said, "alive." His blood pressure had reduced by just a little, but more significantly, his self-assurance had returned. And if you've ever battled with this problem, you know it's not merely about the physical act. It's about feeling good in your own skin, about holding your head up again. So if you've been wondering if something as simple as celery really can pay off, I can tell you from the science and from the stories, it can. 1 cup a day. That's all it takes to begin to move your body back into balance. But celery juice is only the start. Because the second drink on this list, it has that summery flavor but acts like a quiet engine on your circulation. And it may be the most delicious remedy you've never heard of. If you're still reading and these tips are speaking to you, leave a number 1 in the comments so I know you're keeping up. I'm glad you're making this move for your health. Now, let's move forward with the second effective drink on our list. 2. Banana smoothie, potassium for performance. One patient I had several years ago was Leonard, 71 years old, retired mail carrier, widower, and just recently remarried. He presented in my office with a kind smile and a humble confession. "Doc, I did find love again outside, but I don't think I can keep it up." There was no shame in his tone, only truth. And it touched me. It wasn't about vanity, it was about wanting to be there for someone he loved, to feel whole again. He was not praying for a miracle, he just needed a fighting chance. We discussed lifestyle, discussed stress, and then we discussed food. I brought Leonard aboard with the concept of nutrient-fueled vitality, beginning with one of the most underrated foods available, the banana. Sweet, simple, and full of what the body most requires as it grows older: potassium. Potassium isn't just important for heart health, it plays a direct role in regulating blood pressure and keeping your arteries clear and flexible. For men, that means better blood flow where it counts. See, when blood pressure is off, even just a little, it puts a strain on the delicate vessels that support an erection. Bananas help reduce that tension naturally, without any side effects. That alone can translate to more responsiveness, more consistency, and less frustration in intimate moments. But there's more. Bananas also have vitamin B6, which aids hormone production, and a natural shot of speedy energy from their natural sugars. When you blend them into a smoothie with a splash of almond milk or a handful of spinach, you're getting a well-rounded, nutrition-packed drink that energizes your body and boosts your confidence. Leonard began having one every morning, his power shake, he jokingly referred to it. In a month's time, he noticed that he was more energized, more at ease, and most importantly, more attuned to his new wife. I've watched the same script play out with countless men. Something as innocuous as a banana smoothie can remind them that they're still capable, not merely of body intimacy, but of mindfulness. It's not a magic trick, it's nutrition, the kind that constructs from the inside out. And if a creamy, comforting smoothie could make you younger, wait until you learn about a beverage so lively, so full of blood-enhancing nutrients. It's also known as the elixir of endurance. This one's not only performance, it's power, from the center to each extremity. 3. Carrot juice. Circulation and energy booster. There is something wholesome about a carrot. No flash, no nonsense, just the simple natural strength. I recall suggesting carrot juice to a man named Harold. He was 66, a retired mechanic, always had his baseball cap on indoors, and had the weight of decades of hard work in his shoulders and hands. When he showed up in my office, his biggest issue wasn't erectile dysfunction. It was the lethargy, the lack of zing. "I'm exhausted, Doc," he complained. And not exhausted, drained. The kind of tired that's both physical and emotional. That's when carrot juice entered the picture. Vibrant, sweet, and loaded with beta-carotene, carrots get metabolized into vitamin A in the body, a vital nutrient to preserve healthy blood vessels. Why does that matter? Because good blood flow is at the center of everything we're discussing today. Regardless of what your testosterone levels are, if blood isn't circulating freely, your body won't function like it used to. Carrot juice assists with that. It aids in the integrity of blood vessels and maintains them flexible and clear. Even more critical for guys like Harold, carrot juice is also full of potassium, just like bananas, which regulates blood pressure. That's key. When your blood pressure is within balance, your heart doesn't have to pump as hard, and blood can flow more smoothly to all areas of the body. That equals more energy, more quickness, and more control. And with its natural sugars, carrot juice is a smooth, consistent source of energy. Not the jittery type that crashes, but the type that gets you through your day with vitality. Harold reported back to me a few weeks later, "I feel like I can breathe again. I walk lighter. My wife even commented, I've been humming around the house." That's the thing about small change. They compound. One glass of carrot juice first thing in the morning became his routine, his morning reboot. And along with that came not only improved circulation, but improved mood, improved sleep, and improved mornings. You'd be surprised what can change when your body starts cooperating rather than fighting you. And as great as carrot juice is, the next beverage on our list may surprise you even more. It's creamy, filling, and full of nutrients most men over the age of 60 lack. And it helps your heart, your hormones, and your health in one easy drink. If you're still watching and finding this worth your time, go ahead and type the number 1 in the comments. I'd love to hear you're here and along for the ride. Now, let's just continue with point number 4. 4. Ginger tea, circulation and testosterone. There are some remedies that not only work, they wake something up within you. That's what I think about ginger tea. I suggested it to Richard, a 70-year-old ex-jazz musician who sat in my office with a subdued sorrow in his voice. "Doc, I love my wife just the same as I did the day I met her," he told me, "but I feel like my body's forgotten how to react." That sort of candor isn't easy for any man, and I could see the weight of that pain in his slouch. Ginger is one of those old-time roots that's been used for centuries, not only to calm the stomach, but to wake up the body from the inside out. When blended into a soothing, warm tea, it becomes a potent weapon of male virility. The active compounds in ginger, gingerol and shogal, are anti-inflammatory agents which reduce blood vessel inflammation. That translates to better circulation, particularly to the places that most need it for sexual well-being. Circulation is more than a mechanical problem. It's about life energy, energy circulating freely in the body. But ginger doesn't just stop at circulation. Perhaps one of the most amazing things about ginger is its power to support healthy levels of testosterone. Indeed, research has demonstrated that long-term consumption of ginger can result in significant boosts in testosterone over time, particularly in men experiencing decline due to age. That translates into improved mood, increased motivation, and enhanced performance, not only in intimacy, but in life. After Richard started drinking a cup of ginger tea each night, it was no longer just a habit. It was his quiet time, his restoration ritual. A week or so later, he strutted back into my office with a bit more bounce in his step. "I'm playing music again," he said to me. And not just playing for myself. His energy had changed, his spirit was back, and he attributed it all to something as simple as a hot cup of tea. That is the wonder of natural medicine. It is subtle, but it is deep. Ginger tea reminds the body what it can do. It reminds men that vigor can be reclaimed, even after years of believing it's disappearing. Now, if ginger tea heats the body and revives the spirit, wait until you hear about the next beverage. It is vibrant, overflowing with antioxidants, and has been shown to benefit the heart. And what benefits the heart nearly always benefits everything else. 5. Green tea. Belly fat and blood flow buster. There's a gentle power in green tea. It's not brash or showy, but gradually it insinuates itself into your system like a good friend, quietly enhancing the way you feel from the inside out. I suggested it to Walter, a 69-year-old retired history professor. He was the sort of man who cared for everyone else, his students, his children, even his neighbors. But along the way, he began neglecting himself. He did not come to me seeking assistance with intimacy, however, but with a sense of refreshment. He told me, "I want to feel light again, not only in my body, but in my life." The very first thing I recommended was green tea. It is filled with potent antioxidants named catechins, which have been shown to enhance blood vessel function. For men suffering from poor circulation, a major cause of erectile dysfunction, this is imperative. The healthier your blood flows, the more easily your body can respond when intimacy calls. But the benefits are not limited to that. One of green tea's most underappreciated benefits is its impact on body fat, particularly around the belly. As men age, belly fat doesn't just change your appearance. It disrupts your hormones, lowers testosterone, and increases inflammation. Green tea helps target that area. Specifically, it boosts metabolism, helps burn stubborn fat, and gently nudges the body back toward balance. Walter made green tea a daily ritual, a cup in the morning, one in the afternoon. A few weeks in, he said to me something that stuck with me. "I don't just feel better," he said, "I feel more me." His energy returned, his belly started to trim, and that old fire in his eyes came back. His wife informed me later that he'd begun humming in the mornings, reciting poems out loud again like he used to when they were young. All from such a humble thing as a warm, earthy mug of tea. Green tea acts quietly, but it acts reliably. It reminds the body to keep moving, keep burning, keep loving, and sometimes that's just what we need. Now, if green tea does support the heart and slenderizes the waist, next drink may just take us to the next level. It's smooth, creamy, and full of the kinds of nutrients that shield your arteries and energize your body from the inside out. And it's not what most folks are thinking. 6. Almond milk, the quiet healer. Sometimes the most significant transformations happen in the most subtle places. That is precisely how I think about almond milk. It's not loud, it's not in your face, but it's steady, consistent, and loaded with the kind of energy the body desires as it ages. I initially suggested almond milk to a patient by the name of Ron. He was 73 years old, a retired mailman, a widower for several years, and newly beginning again an old friend from his church. He wasn't seeking a miracle. He merely wanted to feel more alive. He replied, "Doc, I'm not pursuing my youth. I just want to be myself again." Almond milk became a regular part of his morning routine, something he anticipated. What's so valuable about almond milk, particularly to older men, is that it is high in vitamin E. This potent antioxidant acts to shield blood vessels from oxidative stress and inflammation. Why is that important? Because the smoother and more pliable your blood vessels are, the more smoothly blood can travel, particularly to the areas of sexual function. Good circulation is not merely movement. It's more about being present, being connected, and being in response. But the advantages run even deeper. Almond milk is also packed with magnesium, which calms down blood vessels and is good for the heart's rhythm. It has calcium for bone support and fatty acids that sustain the body in a balanced manner. For lactose-intolerant men, or simply those in search of a milder plant alternative, almond milk provides a reliable and healthy substitute without the weight of usual dairy. Ron said to me within a few weeks, "I don't know how to say it, but I feel more at ease in my own skin." That's some spinach smoothie nitrate giant. It is ironic how the foods we steered clear of as children often end up being the ones that end up saving us down the road. Spinach is a great example. I recall a patient named Eugene, age 68, a retired railroad engineer, calloused hands but worn eyes. He said to me, "Doc, I'm not ready to give up feeling like a man, but lately things just don't work the way they used to." There was frustration in his tone, but also hope. He was willing to try, and that's all I needed. I introduced him to something simple, a daily spinach smoothie. Not a huge lifestyle change, not a rigid diet, just one tiny habit, one glass a day. Why spinach? Because it's packed with natural nitrates, and those nitrates get converted within your body to nitric oxide. That single compound, nitric oxide, plays a central role in relaxing and dilating your blood vessels, enabling stronger, more stable blood flow. And as we've discussed, when blood flow gets better, everything else gets better. But that's only the beginning. Spinach is also high in magnesium, a little-known but essential mineral for aging men. Magnesium relaxes the vascular system, easing tension and enhancing blood flow. It's also good for nerve health and energy levels, which can sneakily decrease over the course of years before you even realize it. Toss in vitamins A, C, and K and a good splash of iron, and you have a beverage that's not only improving your performance, but your general well-being. Eugene mixed his spinach with banana, a dash of almond milk, and a spoonful of peanut butter. It became his morning routine. A few weeks later, he returned to my office with a smile I'd never seen before. "Doc," he said, "I'm waking up before my alarm again. And I'm not alone in noticing. That sort of thing doesn't happen through pills. It's derived from fuel, honest, plant-based, body-respecting fuel. Spinach might not have appeared thrilling at first glance, but where it gets down to business inside the body, it's nothing short of amazing. It revitalizes the mechanisms that keep you energized, linked, and fully engaged. And where spinach functions quietly in the background, the next drink arrives on the scene with rich flavor and even more robust effects, especially when it involves your heart and your hormones. If you're searching for something that shields you and energizes you, just hold on until you hear what's coming next. 8. Pomegranate juice. Heart health translates into greater performance. There's something almost regal about pomegranate juice. Deep red, full-bodied, and filled with life-giving nutrients. I suggested it to a fellow by the name of Frank, a 72-year-old retired soldier who remained as tall as ever but had begun to feel a bit less stable in other ways. He stared me straight in the face and told me, "Doc, I'm not ready to take it easy, but recently my body is taking that choice out of my hands." He wasn't seeking shortcuts, only something genuine that would restore his edge. Pomegranate juice was my solution. It's one of the strongest natural beverages I am aware of when it comes to keeping the heart strong. And like I always tell my patients, if your heart is healthy, everything else will be. Pomegranate juice is full of antioxidants, particularly a substance called punic. This is not only good for fighting off inflammation, it actually goes a long way towards supporting and repairing the inner lining of your blood vessels. That equates to better circulation, reduced blood pressure, and more effective blood flow where it matters. But here's the part that always gets my patients' attention. Multiple studies have demonstrated that pomegranate juice can directly enhance erectile function. Not by hormones or with stimulants, but by enhancing the quality of the blood flow. It opens the way, so to speak, so your body can respond the way it was intended. And it doesn't stop there. It also prevents the buildup of plaque on the arteries, keeps your cholesterol healthy, and gives your entire cardiovascular system the boost it needs to keep you active and energized. Frank began taking a small glass each morning. In a month, he sat across from me and said, "I feel like I've got some fire back in the furnace." His exercises were less of a chore, his spirits had improved, and yes, he told me, that intimacy no longer made him cringe or avoid it. That lift in his tone was all I needed to know. He wasn't just getting by, he was thriving. Pomegranate juice provides power from the inside out. It rebuilds what time attempts to break down. It reminds the body how to flow, how to link, and how to react. And if that does sound strong, the next beverage may shock you even more so. It's light, it's refreshing, and it contains a secret weapon within, a natural amino acid that your body converts into fuel for endurance, strength, and fulfillment. Hang in there, you're not going to want to miss this one. 9. Watermelon juice, citrulline magic. There's something very uncreepy about watermelon. Reminds us of summer, of lazy days, of feeling light and alive. But most folks don't know that this sweet, hydrating fruit is also one of nature's best weapons against men's health, particularly with regard to circulation and performance. I recall a patient, Dennis, age 70, who presented himself in my office with an air of subdued frustration. "Doc," he complained, "everything seems to require more effort now, even the things that previously happened naturally." Such candor takes heart, and I knew exactly where to begin. I explained to him about watermelon juice, not only as a refreshing beverage, but also as a natural source of an amino acid called citrulline. When inside the body, citrulline is changed into arginine and from arginine into nitric oxide. If you've been paying attention, you'll see that nitric oxide is crucial for dilating blood vessels and enhancing the circulation of blood, two things that contribute directly to a man's capacity for achieving and sustaining an erection. Amazingly, watermelon juice accomplishes all of this without harsh side effects, and in the process providing hydration and essential nutrients such as vitamins A, C, and B6. Dennis was skeptical initially. "You're telling me watermelon's gonna cure this?" he chuckled, but he gave it a shot. 1 glass in the morning, sometimes with a little mint or lime added. Several weeks later, he returned and told me something that I'll never forget. "It's not working again, Doc. I feel lighter, happier, like I got part of myself returned." That's what the power of something so simple as watermelon juice does. It's not about making the body do it, it's all about assisting it to recall how. And that's truly the secret with so many of these natural beverages. They don't force, they assist. They don't cover up, they rejuvenate. Watermelon juice, with its citrulline composition, provides the body with just what it requires to operate as it was meant to. And honest or not, it doesn't hurt that it tastes so wonderful either. Now, while watermelon is sweet, light, and easy, the last drink on this list is earthy, bold, and strong. It's what athletes consume to give their stamina a pick-me-up, but its real benefit is the way that it changes blood flow and endurance at the cellular level. It's about to get real. The last one is the one that makes the difference. 10. Beetroot juice, athlete's secret weapon. There's a reason why endurance athletes are hooked on beetroot juice. But what few realize is that this deep red beverage isn't reserved for marathon runners. It's a potent friend for older men who need to regain energy, enhance circulation, and rekindle the sense of vitality. I recall a gentleman by the name of Joe, 74 years young, a retired fireman who'd spent his life putting others before himself. He pulled up a chair across from me, stared me straight in the eye, and said, "Doc, I don't want to check out. I just want something that will make me think I'm still in the game." That's when I met him with beetroot juice. Now, I know it's not for everybody on the first taste. Earthy, pungent, not particularly sweet, but where it falls short on taste, it makes up many times over on functionality. Beets are packed with natural nitrates, and when your body processes those into nitric oxide, incredible things begin to occur. Blood vessels widen, flow enhances, oxygenation boosts, and for a guy having trouble with erectile function, that equates to tangible physical improvement, not from a pill, but from actual nutrition. Beetroot juice also lowers blood pressure and decreases inflammation throughout the vascular system. For men like Joe, whose blood flow had slowed and energy levels dropped, this drink gave him something he hadn't felt in a long time: stamina. Within a few weeks of daily use, he wasn't just feeling stronger, he was moving better, sleeping better, even laughing more. "Doc," he said, "I forgot how good it feels to be in motion." What struck me most was not just the physical progress, it was the return of his spirit, that sense of purpose, that belief that life isn't slowing down. It's just changing gears. Beetroot juice helped remind his body how to function optimally again, and in doing so, helped him feel complete again. That's fathers, veterans, husbands, friends. I can say this. What distinguishes a man who is alive from one who feels he is disappearing is not always huge. It is often simply one small adjustment done each morning. One cup, one gesture of kindness, one quiet vow to yourself. We've discussed 10 intense natural beverages, all with their own method of assisting you to regain energy, promote circulation, and regain that feeling of power and sense of togetherness you believed to be behind you. Celery juice makes the blood vessels open and quiet stress. Banana smoothies nourish the body potassium and energize. Carrot juice increases energy and cardiovascular health. Ginger tea awakens testosterone and heats the body. Green tea dissolves belly fat and has blood flow more easily. Almond milk defends your vessels, your bones, and your heart. Spinach smoothies pack you with nitric oxide and nutrition. Pomegranate juice cleanses the arteries and rekindles performance. Watermelon juice provides citrulline, that understated but serious blood flow booster. And beetroot juice, that's your endurance juice, your deep, bold, natural secret weapon. Each of these beverages is great on its own, but combined they speak more eloquently than I ever can. They speak of the man who refuses to give up, who won't accept decline, and who thinks that even at his 60s or 70s, there's still life to be lived. I've seen it in their eyes, the transition from doubt to hope, from exhaustion to flame. I have been privileged to see men come back not only to health, but to themselves. And the finest aspect of it, this isn't hard. You don't have to revolutionize your life or shell out hundreds of dollars on pills or treatments that only camouflage the symptoms. You can begin with one drink in the morning, switch them up during the week, tune into your body, and eventually you'll see things shift: your energy, your mood, your intimacy, your confidence. So, as we wrap up, I want to leave you with this. You are not over the hill. You are not broken. You are still able to feel strong, connected, and alive. The body knows how to heal if you provide it with what it needs. Begin tomorrow. One cup, one choice, one new start. Your wife will be grateful, but above all, you will thank yourself. Thanks for watching Health Senior, where healthy living never gets old. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who cares about their health too. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss a new tip, recipe, or wellness guide. Stay active, stay happy, and most of all, stay healthy. See you in the next video.